What is up YouTube, and welcome back to another RiftGuides WildRift video. We have the tier list for the current patch, and not too many changes, but some adjustments have happened. If you're interested in winning some skins, just feel free to watch this video and carefully look for skin codes in the video. We have placed a few in this video, so you truly want to watch the entire video to make sure that you don't miss them. We will link everything you need to know how to redeem them in the description below, and don't forget to save big time on skins also in the description below. So now, let's start with the video. First off, we have the Baron lane, and the best champion here is Warwick. Warwick is the best carry champion, he has the highest sustain. You just have to go for the full defensive setup. You just go for the resolve tree as your main tree with press the attack or empowerment as your main rune into the second tree, brutal. With this setup, you're basically unkillable and completely dominate everything that comes your way, and you stat check everything and out-sustain everything. It's not even skillful anymore. The only thing you have to look out for is actually dragging your first ability on minions, because only last hitting them with the dragging gets you the half reset of the first ability's cooldown. Other than this, there's not many changes for the Baron lane. Heimerdinger is still going strong. All the other champions are still in the same place, not much has changed. Now for the tank tier, we have a slight adjustment. Mordekaiser has received another nerf, and don't get me wrong, he's still one of the best options as a tank into other tanks, but he's suffering into matchups that were not that easy as they were before. But if you pick him into a tank, you will still be winning. So to counteract that one, there's one tank that is always going to be on top thanks to the utility the champion provides, which is going to be Ornn. This champion out-sustains you by just farming from range, and is by the way very good into Warwick because you simply can choose to never play the lane. You farm from max range with your first ability and you chill. If the wave is getting too big later on, you just ult the wave and you're completely chilling. Another cool thing about Ornn is the teamfight impact with the ult, the CC, the durability, and one extra thing. You can give your teammates extra crafts, which allows them to stay on the map for longer, and therefore just influence the map in a completely different way, especially in the jungle department. Junglers have gluttonous grease most of the time if they're like 80 based, and then they can stay on the map indefinitely and buy items with the power of Ornn. Another criminal, or another role in which Warwick is criminal in, is the jungle department. Warwick has a few set of builds. He has an AP build, he has an AD build, and in the jungle he can go for the AP build without even worrying about a single thing. The issue with this champion is, even if you build a QSS against him, he will still one-shot you as a carry, and that is the big problem. He's also able to easily stat check a lot of the other carry meta junglers without any problem because he's simply too durable. He has a damage reduction tool with the third ability, which also features a CC component, as well as infinite sustain with the first ability, as well as an auto attack reset, and of course the ultimate ability, which is just impossible to miss nowadays. Other champions in the jungle department really didn't swap that much. You see, like Shyvana is broken, Lee Sin, if you play really well, is obnoxiously strong, Hecarim with the Cleaver, Trinity Force and Trinity Force Cleaver build is insane, and if there's like a few champions that are like more of an outlier champion, then it's going to be Kindred and Master Yi. Because these champions require a little bit more understanding of the game, especially Kindred, but if you actually master this champion, you'll quickly realize how potent this champion can be. It's all about understanding your marks, and that your marks aren't actually that important for your early game transition, and they're more like you just win more. It's still a hyper carry in the jungle, and if you understand how to play this champion, especially with Ghost, and just spacing generally and how much damage you can deal, you really will change your perception or perspective on the champion, and will definitely see her in the S tier. But she's a lot more work than other champions, because why would you play her if you can just pick champions like Vi, Shyvana, or Talon, or even Hecarim or Xin Zhao, like the relatively simple champions in direct comparison. And as per usual, I don't really mention too many champions within the A tier, because these champions, well, they're just worse than S tier champions, and therefore just require certain conditions to be met, or more conditions to be met, before you want to even pick them. In the tank department, we have the good old Volleybro. Volleybro is a hyper-scaling, super annoying, giga annoying, just one-shot the AD carry type of champion that simply doesn't die. You can think of him as the Vi of tanks. He is just annoying. Like, the How dives are so insane, jungle clear is insane, and he's super easy to play. All the other champions within the S tier are either harder to play, or well, just offer less good of a return. But for example, if we take a look at Nautilus and Mordekaiser, these champions can obviously also be picked into the carry tier, and in the carry tier Nautilus will also be S tier thanks to the superior jungle clear and super high early damage that makes this champion really difficult to face because he's so easy to execute plays with. In the mid lane, we have a few adjustments. First off, the most broken champion remains the same, Syndra. As of right now, even after the Orianna buffs, there is still no reason to pick Orianna over Syndra. Syndra is still way better. But now let's talk about the other champions within the S tier and what has changed. Okay, why is Lissandra in S tier and why Vladimir? Lissandra is a good counter pick or a good pick if you play duo queue with a jungle. All the other champions in the S tier are really nice and really powerful, with the exception of Vladimir. The issue with this champion is he takes quite a lot of time to scale and then he becomes relevant. At 3 items, he's most of the time an auto-win champion, which in the context of WildRift happens very frequently. But what did I change within the A tier? Okay, I moved up Seraphine from the B tier into the A tier because the champion just has nice wave clear and nice teamfight potential. And I put Vex down into the B tier for the following reason. Vex has one certain issue in this game and it's called Perseverance. This rune grants you magic resist and armor when you get CC'd, and Vex only functions like this, which makes the champion a lot worse, and she's highly committal. I also put down Zoe 1 tier into the A tier because she's simply too much effort compared to, for example, Orianna. But if you're still a good Zoe player, this champion can remain in the S tier, but keep in mind, Orianna is just easier to play than that one. And for some of you that wonder why I didn't put Morgana into S tier, Morgana is an S+++ tier counter pick. Morgana is not a blind pick. Morgana can never ever be blinded in WildRift. You are more happy blinding Heimerdinger and the enemy picks Yasuo than picking Morgana. But still, keep that in mind, if you want to play mid lane, you're auto-filled and Morgana is the only option to play, feel free to pick her, but she isn't a blind pick. Just for reference, she's really good into champions like Vi, Nautilus, Twisted Fate, like any of these all-in centric champions that have like one way of playing and you can completely deny it. For the assassins, we still have Echo going super strong. You can pick Fleet Footwork if you're into heavy matchups with the full Resolve main tree into Sudden Impact second tree, or you can look into building full blue tree into Sudden Impact as well. The only thing that really matters is having Sudden Impact. The same applies to the following champions, Akali and Diana. Sudden Impact is the most important rune and obviously Kassadin as well, and Ahri really likes the rune too, so you can spot the pattern here. For the other tier, we still have Yasuo as the most annoying champion, and there's not much that has changed so far. I've removed Maokai from this list because he's simply not picked that often. He's still a viable choice, but not as good as he used to be because of all the nerfs. You can still pick him, but I will not list him here. And Corki could also potentially go one slot higher into the S tier, but I'm still waiting on that one. For the AD carry position, we have no real notable changes. Lucian is still the best AD carry to pick. He still has an insane early game because the early game changes were barely noticeable and the damage changes are more noticeable during the mid and late game, but if you think about why you pick Lucian, this will be less of a problem than, well, anything else. Other changes within the S and A tier is a swap between Misfortune and Jhin. Misfortune has a pretty good laning phase and can neutralize a lot of the, well, strong champions in the game, and still have impact if she's a little bit behind thanks to ultimate ability and the overall utility this one provides. Other than this, we don't have many changes because, well, we've talked about it many times for what reason you pick these champions, and the placements are still the same. For the mages, we still have the Heimerdinger as the best option, and other than this, feel free to knock yourself out with any of the S tier picks and you'll be more than happy picking these up. There's not anything I need to say about this anymore because I'm just repeating myself at this point for 15 patches in a row. For the support champions, we also have no changes at all. Nautilus is still the best champion pickup, all the other champions in the S tier are more than viable, they're all insane, but there's one thing you need to understand about Thresh, he's really good into full physical team compositions because he gains so much armor thanks to the souls. Other than this, I would recommend not blind picking him. A tier champions, stay away from them. B tier champions, just don't even think about their existence. Protect champions that are still broken. We still have Milio as a broken champion, we have Lulu as a broken champion, and obviously we have Yuumi as a broken champion. These 3 champions are annoying as hell and still too busted. If you want to pick anything from the S tier and you'll be more than fine on your climb. For the carry tier, we have Karma as the best option you have available. She just offers the most damage and everything you want from hyper carrying. And other than this, you still have the other options available within the S tier. I would recommend staying away from the A tier, unless you understand the conditions why I would pick these champions into. For example, Brand into a full tank composition when you're like the only AP champion. Other than this, don't really play this champion. He is too inconsistent in what he does. He does a lot of damage if he gets to, but mostly into tanks, but otherwise he usually just dies and, well, it's kind of a suicide bomber. And that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Check out our partners in the description below. And don't forget to claim the skin code, because if the first person claims one, this code is gone. So if you want to get a code, be fast, watch the video, and enjoy your time.